What's up, them boys? So we've been hearing the news about how great the Fallout show has been and things like that, and we've been hearing how some of it's been destroying the lore. Now we're here with your boy Synthetic Lame, Synthetic Incel. Oh my bad, Synthetic Man, and we're here to watch his review, the full review of the Fallout TV show. While doing this review, you know what I'm saying, I will be dissecting whatever stupidity he has to say. Okay, sometimes I zone out, I won't lie, and sometimes the audio is a little bad. I'm sorry about that. I love you guys. I hope you appreciate the video. Let's get into it.
Off, and if you don't care about the Fallout franchise, which is the case for most of the people who like this show, then you could
Hey, if you're not a fan of this show, like of the series, like of this game, you can't watch the show. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't even know why you fucking thought you can partake in the series that gamers like, bruh. Are you serious? Not you degenerates.
just consume this mediocre slop and not really think much of it. This is about as superficial as an adaptation can possibly be. It has a bunch of visual references, and that's really all it takes to get normies on board with your show. You can absolutely take a massive dump on the lore, especially of the original games in New Vegas.
A lot of people are upset with the lore and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? Oh my god, it looks like Shady Sands isn't there. Oh my god. You know the game still exists, guys. The game still exists. I still love them. I'm pretty sure you'll still love them playing them, even modded and shit like that. The show is in season 1, so they could expand on the lore that we are getting here, but who knows? Synthetic Man has said right here that they're getting the fucking lore wrong. They always get it wrong.
That's fine, because most Fallout fans, if you can even call them fans, have only played Fallout 4, and so they don't care about the universe, they don't care about the characters, they don't even care about the theme, they don't even know what...
I have only played Fallout 3. Let me take that back. I played Fallout New Vegas. I've been playing Fallout 3, and I finished Fallout 4 when it originally came out. I hate Fallout 4. I can't even lie. Maybe it's because of the base building thing, but I don't really like the base building thing. I mean, the mechanics are cool. I like the moving around and shit and shooting and shit. That gameplay is good, but in terms of like the actual like story and shit like that, that one was like probably the weakest for me. Not a bad game. Not a bad game. It's just not what it could have been. You know what I'm saying? But they made us wait a long ass time for what?
What the theme is. People think it's about capitalism. The games literally tell you in the intro cutscene and the epilogue, war never changes. And yet somehow...
Holy shit, they're adding capitalistic lore in the game. No way, it's not like there's lore like that in the fucking... Even in the one he quoted New Vegas, if you go to the terminals, he must not be reading the terminals. Because you can go to Rob Coe's original place before it got bombed, and they're talking about all of that shit. Is he slow?
Now it's about capitalism bad, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. As some of you may have noticed, my last video got absolutely brigaded, more than maybe I've ever seen before, by Redditors, Discord groomers.
Yes, I think this is the most clout he's ever gotten. This is the most I've ever seen anyone talking about Synthetic Man. I even had to talk about him today, because I'm like, damn, y'all finally talking about this man? This degenerate right here, y'all talking about this incel? I mean, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, his time has come for niggas to really let me stop.
Merchants on Twitter, the list goes on. That was probably the least organic my comment section has ever looked, ever.
He can't even tell when the people are real. These are real people, and he's like, this is oh my gosh, we have a term for this. He's delusional.
But but if you've been watching this channel for a long time, you might be thinking, well, that's nothing too out of the ordinary. That's happened a bunch of times to this channel. Well, even reading these comments, I knew something fishy was going on. The first thing I noticed is that there were a lot of suspiciously
similar comments. Yep, he's obviously a cyborg chat GPT fool guy. Take a look around. What is even good anymore? AAA games suck now. He who is unable to see how bad things are need to not criticize those who can see it. Blue blue. You're so used to the slop that you can't see the bad and now defend the bad. You're the problem. And this show does break canon and make all the Fallout pointless. Oh no! Fallout is pointless. It's Fallout pointless now because of this TV show. Did they just spin it? Fucking Fallout losers. Can't believe you fucking give us all that lore, baby. We're gonna make it all wrong.
Copy pasted in the reply chains of all the top comments in my video, and they would only ever address the same few points, whether it's the show breaking the lore or Shady Sands falling and then the nuke happening after it fell, and we'll address that later in this video. But none of those comments addressed anything I actually said in the video itself. I think
maybe you're saying a lot of bullshit. People don't really listen to it. Maybe I'll go back for you. I'm gonna go back for you, and I'll really listen to what you said, because I feel like I wasn't listening to it. We'll do a full review of it, and then maybe we'll see what stupidity you're saying.
About the video itself, were people triggered about my comments regarding interracial couples, which is funny because I didn't even give my opinion on interracial couples.
You don't have to give your, Synthetic Man, we know you. Like, people who at least watch your content, or even 10 minutes of you talking, can kind of tell you don't like interracial. Like, that doesn't work for you, which is, I guess, everyone has their own, preference and shit like that. But you are coping. Stop coping saying you like to see that. It kind of hurts you on the inside. I know it might suck to see that your white kings that you try to glorify and try to get with, your white girls that you can never, really get with, they don't fuck with you in there. On to black men. Sorry, incel.
I just brought up statistics and pointed out how it's propaganda that they appear in all modern media. But I guess with Redditors being proud cuckolds,
that boy don't step outside.
Feel the need.
That boy don't step outside. Oh my god. Let me look at the stats. We're gonna have to look at the stats for the population of because I'm pretty sure a majority of people are mixed. What the fuck is he talking about?
To defend Tyrone's honor as he plows their wife every night. The funniest one to me is there would always be a comment claiming this show doesn't break the lore. Not explaining how it doesn't, just saying that it doesn't. All the nitpicks aside, I would say the biggest retcon of all is Shady Sands teleporting 200 miles across California into the heart of
I'll give him
LA.
that, man.
The Boneyard doesn't even exist.
It doesn't exist in the show.
Shady Sands is now in LA, which was
it's in LA now, man.
Not the case in Fallout 1, but to claim that it doesn't break the lore when you don't even know what the lore is, that's a fucking bot, dude. The second thing I noticed...
That's a fucking bot, dude. Did you know that? The location switching changes the lore, and that it's over? Maybe the NCR expanded it, and maybe they relocated. Maybe these things can happen. These are years after Fallout 1. Is this fucking insanity?
Is that video has way more comments than almost any video in the entire history of my channel. At the time of recording this, the video is just under 200,000 views and has 14,000 comments.
Yes, bro. Flex that, bro. That's a good thing, bro. You should be proud. You should be proud of that. Your take was so horrendously bad that the whole internet had to get on that ad. Was it really that good? Was it? I'm gonna go see that.
Comments. For comparison, my Starfield video, which has 680,000, has 12,000 comments. And I'm sure some delusional person is gonna say, well, it's just people arguing with each other. But these are my videos we're talking about. People are debating.
I don't think it's that as people arguing with each other for your Starfield video. It's that you have bad takes, but like, if it's a bad take on a game that people already thought was gonna not be that well, you know what I mean? You're not really doing anything too crazy. But let's say a show is coming out and it's actually pretty good. It's surprisingly good. And then you're here shitting on it because, oh my god, it breaks some of the lore. Oh my god, there's interracial couples here. Oh my god, there's a person in a Brotherhood of Steel who might not be a guy. A guy. He might not be a guy. I might not be able to fuck him later. He's not a guy. Oh my god. But we'll get into that.
Each other in the comments basically every time I give a negative take on a modern game. No, these are bots, actual AI chat bots that are being rolled out into YouTube comment sections. And so, suspecting these were bots, I wrote a pinned comment. And of course I was inflammatory, but this is me we're talking about, so that's besides the point. But in the comment, I said,
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Damn, I have to go back, bro. My bad, bro. Fuck.
Questions in the post. Well over 50 comments.
Come on, man. Stop flexing.
Any of the 3 questions in the post. And yes, some of these were just retarded.
I missed some. Let's read the quote. If Sadie Shands fell in 2277, why didn't a single NCR member mention it in 2281? New Vegas. If you think the show isn't woke, what's your definition of woke? Why do you care if other people like/hate the show? Millions of people boycott each year, yet we all know it sucks. Normies, you liking the show doesn't make it good. I thought leftists hated carpets, yet here you are clicking Bethesda's boots. If you reply to this post, don't answer any of the 3 questions. You will be... Oh, if your reply... I was about to say, hey, well, you can't even respond to it. If your reply to this post doesn't answer any of the 3 questions, you will be blocked on this channel. Feel free to cry about it later. In your groomer Discord, New Vegas is a woke game. New Vegas itself is woke. They have... You degenerates are turning the word woke into some racist shit. You know that, right? Like, this is not... Woke isn't propaganda, you fucking idiot. Are you dumb? Is this what synthetic man means? Propaganda to the white race? That's what woke is? Propaganda to the white race? Holy shit.
Tory, but this is me we're talking about, so that's besides the point. But in the comment, I said, if you do not reply to one of these 3 questions posted, I will block you from this channel. And the whole point of that was to prove that you are not an AI chatbot. And what do you think happened? Well over 50 comments did not address any of the 3 questions in the post. And yes, some of these were just retarded Zoomers or millennial Redditors who are trying to throw a gotcha in. But no, there were quite a few that are just straight up fucking chatbot responses that don't address anything in the post.
These aren't bots, synthetic man.
Corroborated by V, not the board, but the Romanian who's Sargon's buddy, you might remember from back in the day. He also confirmed he was debating with bots on Twitter.
Yo, what is this essay that he wrote? You can write that long? Is that on Twitter? If you're a fellow noticer, you may have... What? That the new brigade by shills and leftist ideologies? He's a... Oh my god. Oh shit. He doesn't realize.
You can check out the Archcast's video reviewing the show. Their comments are full of bots. One thing I absolutely can't blame on bots, however, is the sheer number of people claiming I didn't pay attention to the first episode because I got a bunch of plot points wrong. Every single point I got wrong is because I only watched the first episode, which I stated in the last video. Yes, the show has this thing called plot twists. Did you want me to read a Cliff's Notes of every episode plot before I made the review? Are people not allowed to review just the first episode of a show? Look, I know a lot of the noticers in my audience are not the least bit shocked by this and probably don't.
This one I can give him a little bit benefit of the doubt because I mean I'm pretty sure he did say, you know, it was only the first episode he was gonna do for the thing. But you did kind of say in that whole review that the show was gonna be doing all of that throughout it, so maybe that's why people got upset, because you were reviewing the one episode and you were alluding to the whole series was gonna be this after watching one episode.
Don't really care that much, but this is fucking huge. Astroturfing has gotten completely out of control at this point. I've seen plenty of paid marketers on other websites, especially on Reddit and 4chan, but if now YouTube comments,
okay, now he's yapping,
which there were many bot comments that
he's still talking about the bots, bro. He's really this lost? He's lost. He thinks his view set's the only one, bro. He's crazy.
Does that mean they're right? No, it doesn't, you fucking idiots. Call of Duty sells like 20 million copies a year, and we all know it's trash. So yes, there's know that Faith, who just more than people who can
I'm skipping through some of it because he's talking, I don't know.
Details. I don't really have time to
let's go into the fucking review because he's acting like an idiot talking about other shit.
Make this over an hour long, I promise you. So feel free to point out other things you hated about the show. I'm sure they'll promise you. This video will be over an hour long. Major details. I don't really have time to nitpick everything, and this video will be over an hour long.
I won't have time to nitpick anyway. Spent the intro, right? A minute, okay? He spent basically 8 minutes complaining. 8 minutes complaining about the You're right. So it won't be an hour long of you reviewing the show. It'll probably be like 40 minutes of you skimming through these episodes and then giving your God honest review, because that's what you people do.
And I'm not going to make this over an hour long, I promise you. So feel free to point out other things you hated about the show. I'm sure there'll be plenty I don't hit in this video. Without further ado, here's the rest of Fallout Season 1. Starting off with Episode 2, we have easily the worst episode of the show. It starts off where we see with
the New Vegas. This is kind of interesting with the little, you know what I'm saying? I might have to steal that. There might be something good Synthetic Man is doing.
Enclave scientist who spares a German shepherd from incineration and takes it as his own. For some reason that is never explained, by the way, he gets access to this extremely important artifact that is the MacGuffin that drives the entire plot of the show. And in fact, after this scene, the Enclave never shows up again.
Bro, there's a MacGuffin in every damn Fallout. You're playing a game where you take the platinum chip to some dude, he shoots you in the head, and you respawn from a robot and dock, and you have to go give him a platinum chip. That's the thing. The platinum chip's the whole thing.
To escape from the facility, an auto turret shoots at him and misses every fucking shot as he's moving at 2 miles an hour. Look at how bad this looks. Just remember this.
Yeah, I think it looks like that on, like, I think they did that intentionally because the turrets on Fallout 4 are ass. I think that's why they did that. Like, they are ass. They're paying attention to this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reaching.
The people actually like this show every time you see shit like this. In the next scene, we see Lucy explore the desert wasteland of California, and the Enclave scientist finds her at night conveniently and tries to explain to her that the wasteland is an inhospitable nightmare where the creatures there have adapted to become more lethal and she needs to adapt in kind. This is one of many scenes where it shows Lucy is incredibly naive about the state of the world and she needs to become hardened to survive here. Guess what? She never does. Next scene, we're back with Maximus, and we
never does.
learn that the night.
I think he's doing that. He didn't. Is he serious? I'm gonna wait until he brings it up, or potentially doesn't bring it up. But she does go through some shit and like that. You know what I'm saying? Her fingers get.
He's serving under is a pathetic weakling asshole and probably also racist. Yet for some reason, the genius showrunners and Bethesda by extension thought it was a good idea to make the Brotherhood of Steel evil, arguably the most marketable part of the Fallout universe. They made incredibly unlikable.
I'm sorry, buddy. I know you might like him. That might be some of your incel coming out, which is cool. Which is cool. You know what I'm saying? Brotherhood is still is cool. You know what I'm saying? They're not loved even in New Vegas. They're not even. I'm pretty sure everyone wants to take them out. What the fuck?
On this show. On the one hand, it did subvert my expectations completely. On the other, it just feels like yet another way to shit on the Fallout universe. And before some people strawman me, I'm not saying
it's
the
like you
Brotherhood
don't
of Steel
remember.
should be like Fallout 3 where they're all good guy knights or whatever. I'm completely fine with the Brotherhood being xenophobic isolationists who preserve technology. I think that's great. Unfortunately, they never do that in this show. No, instead, Titus is a mega pussy.
Yeah, but that's what they're talking about the whole thing. No one cares. No one cares, buddy. Now this is part of this. This is some of it where it's like you're doing too much. Like you're trying to. The Brotherhood of Steel member that he's with is pussy. That was the whole point of it. He is pussy, and there's some layers added to this shit because the character right here, Titus. I mean, oh my god, whatever. Oh my gosh, now you got me forgetting this shit, man.
In T60 power armor, taken out by a bear. And because he was an asshole, Maximus decides not to save him and then steals his power armor and pretends to be him. This is one of many moments where Maximus is borderline evil in this show. But I guess it's okay because the guy was a racist and he looks white. I do want to point out, he's...
That's it right there. That's it right there. Sorry for the little delay, it had pause and shit like that, but that's it right there. The characters on the show, yes, some of them are racist. Yes, I think that's the point because we still have racism here. It would probably still exist even if the nukes dropped, probably to a different extent. I'm not even gonna lie. So the fact that you're trying to say that, oh, he's racist and that he killed him because of that and it's not morally good, no, it still doesn't. Maximus doesn't even look good in the scene. He lets him die out and shit like that. He still lets him die. Yeah, that nigga was a dick, but he still lets him die. It's adding more layers to Maximus. Holy.
He's not actually technically white, but I don't want to go into that. But of course, the question is, how the hell did Titus become a knight in the first place if you earn the power armor through acts of bravery? He was a complete pussy. But no, they don't explain it. And speaking of not explaining it, Maximus doesn't explain what happened to Titus. No, he just pretends that he died, and now he pretends to be Titus for almost the rest of the entire show. And there's no consequences for this, by the way.
Oh, what? Is he? He's not watching the show. He's not watching the show. He's not watching the show. He does that because the squire comes. He can't let them know that Titus is gone because then someone else is going to come as a squire. They're gonna be like, oh, where's Maximus? You know what I'm saying? Where's Maximus? Where's Maximus? Why are you dead and not the squire and not the Brotherhood of Steel member? You know what I'm saying? What's he talking about?
Forgets that he told them that he died and Titus lived. Oh, and this is not the only plot hole in this show. In the next scene, we're back to Lucy, and we get a scene straight out of Borderlands where some idiot is living out in the middle of nowhere with no resources, somehow surviving, and he drinks all of Lucy's water. Haha, so funny. She should stop trusting people, but she keeps doing it.
Haha, so funny. They have interesting characters. They have funny characters in the show. She trusted someone. She's so naive. Oh my god. She's good-hearted. That's probably the whole point of her role, that they're all good-hearted. Reclamation Day. Isn't she part of the 76 group? Hello? She's built to be like that. Why would she just, after one interaction, oh, okay. You know what? All people are bad out here. You know what? All people are bad. Maybe that's what happened to you, bro. And maybe one of the girls you were with shitted on you, called you a disgusting fuck, told you should probably shower and stop playing them damn games, you sweaty monk. And you didn't like that, and you just went ahead and put that on to every woman.
Eventually, she heads over to the town of Philly that's actually located in a forest. I gotta say, this is one of the few things I kind of liked about the show. There's a settlement that isn't out in the middle of a wasteland.
Whoa, he likes something of the show. What was that again? Hold on.
That isn't out. I gotta say, this is one of the few things I kind of liked about the show. There's a settlement that isn't out in the middle of a wasteland with no resources like Megaton. And yes, there absolutely would be forests. Not only has it been well over 200 years, which is more than enough time for the radiation to be gone, but also it's not like every inch of the country was hit with nukes. So this actually makes a lot of sense. I kind of like this.
You kind of like that. That's dope. He likes Synthetic Man likes that there's some vegetation out there. He likes that the outside looks real. It looks decent enough. The radiation levels are gone, you know, they should be a little bit lower, but he likes that. Even though Synthetic Man don't really step outside, he likes that the outside world in this show looks pretty good. That's pretty good. Hey, that's a good compliment.
Really don't like is that Lucy comes across this shop called Ma's Rarities, and this old woman here explains to us that vault dwellers represent rich people and surface dwellers represent poor people. Again, this once again proves fans of the show haven't actually played the fuck.
That's what the show is, introducing people to the show. I mean the series, my bad. The show has to do something that Synthetic Man, you probably can't even comprehend yourself. They have to bring in a new audience and still keep the ones who are fans of the original material satisfied. And honestly, I think they're hitting a nice little middle ground. Maybe not every single little detail is point for point, but maybe they are taking some creative liberties, because that's what you can do as a creative on the show that you're working on, for a series that you're working on, and expand on the lore. This is what the show is doing. They're not redacting anything. God.
Games. Either that or they just conveniently ignore obvious propaganda right in their fucking face. No, Vault Dwellers represent a time capsule of the 50s retro future culture. That's why they're all so naive and friendly and neighborly, and they have to learn to survive in this inhospitable environment where everything's trying to kill you. Never at any point in any of the games is it implied that Vault Dwellers are rich people. The only vaults that maybe come close to that are the control vaults, and yes, it's set up that Vault 33 is a control vault, but it's not in reality. We'll get to that plot twist when it comes. The vast majority of vaults had horrific science experiments take place in them. I wouldn't exactly call that a haven for the rich.
They're still, I think that's the point, dummy. They're outsiders. They wouldn't know what is going on in the vaults. Not even all the people in the vaults know it was going to be a controlled experiment. The people who got in there, even in Fallout 4.
So of course the lady doesn't help her, but conveniently the Enclave scientist caught up with her, and he reveals that he knows all about Vault 33, and of course it turns out that he's the guy that she's looking for to find a way to get to her father. Of course, the ghoul shows up, and we get half of a pretty cool action scene where we get to see Walton Goggins blow away a bunch of mercs, and actually, yeah, it's pretty cool. He's got some kind of shotgun firing, I guess, armor.
I can't lie. It's pretty cool. But go on. Acting like there's only one. Go on. I know he's gonna bring that point up later.
Rounds. And no, I'm not gonna nitpick that. It's Fallout. Obviously, the guns aren't realistic, and Bethesda has proven time and time again they know nothing about guns. But it looks pretty cool, I'll say that. One thing that does kind of bother me about this scene is that for some reason, ghouls are now basically immortal zombies. If you don't shoot them in the head, they don't die. That is a pretty big retcon, and don't try to tell me it isn't one, because it's never been established that you have to shoot them in the head. Even if you don't think gameplay is canon, which I think is just absurd, but we're not going to get into that. This is clearly a retcon. Also, in the chaos, the ghoul stabs dog meat, and yes, I'll be calling the dog meat because Walton Goggins himself calls the dog meat near the end of the show, so might as well be. But don't worry, the dog doesn't die. Now this is where the episode goes to shit again. Lucy gives this grand speech, which is pretty cringe, shoots the ghoul.
Whoa, she's using her speech skill in this fucking game where you are supposed to talk, you can talk to people instead of just killing everybody? Whoa, that's interesting, crazy. Did it run through his mind that maybe her character build is charisma? Speech? Barter? Maybe she's decent at those other things, but maybe her thing is talking.
The trank dart, we get an admittedly pretty good line.
Well, now that is a very small drop in a very, very large bucket of drugs.
And then Maximus
Yes,
shows
sir.
up to save the day, and they fucking turned power armor into Iron Man armor. It looks so stupid. And if you think this looks bad, just watch this, guys.
I'll give him that. That part right there, I'll give him that.
Straight out of a
That was a little
film.
like goofy type shit. But you know what I'm saying?
He have a gun?
You know what I'm saying? You got that synthetic man. You got that. I might have to put a tally for every time synthetic man got one. I think we've been doing this for an hour, and the video's still an hour. He got one or 2 points so far. I fuck with it.
He had a gun in a previous scene. It didn't break. In the midst of this really shitty Marvel movie fight, the old lady grinds this metal boot onto the Enclave dude's leg, which just feels like straight shock value because it doesn't even save him, by the way. And then the ghoul shows up in the room.
You can't do anything with this dude. Yo, if you do something, you put a boot on him where it can't heal him. It's for shock value. Duh. It's not even. Why did they even do that? They shouldn't have even killed him.
Gives dog meat a stim pack, and now all of a sudden they're buddies. And of course, he uses dog meat to track down the Enclave guy. The episode ends back.
Didn't he say that gameplay? Wasn't he saying that gameplay should matter in the story and in the show? And he said that he's upset that dog meat got used the stem pack and got healed up immediately. That's what when you have dog meat in the game as a companion, he don't even die. He can't die. You don't even have to give him a stem pack. Y'all know that, right? You have to make it a mod or something for him to die or some shit like that. But you can play that, and he will never die. But you can give him a stim pack, and he will heal up immediately, from 0 to 100.
In the middle of the desert again, the Enclave dude is starting to bleed out, and so he tells Lucy to chop off his head because the thing they need is in his head. Again, this is done purely for shock value and his idiocy. The thing in his neck does not need to be in his head to work, so they carry around a fucking rotting head for the entire season. Nobody thinks to dig the chip out of his neck. Dude, they turn Fallout into Borderlands. You're gonna see that more and more throughout this show. This is straight up fucking Borderlands cringe, unfunny garbage. And that's episode 2.
Please don't compare this to fucking Borderlands. Oh my god, this is not even close to Borderlands.
Give it a 3 out of 10.
He sees a desert, he's like, Borderlands? This kid? Borderlands?
And it isn't even lower than that is because Walton Goggins is pretty entertaining as the ghoul, and honestly he only gets better from here.
Yep, his boy crush is starting to show up. There it is, there's his man crush. He don't like Maximus. But the
episode was awful. I feel like if you have any standards for television at all, you would have stopped watching this show after this episode. It was that bad. Now on to episode 3.
This show was episode 2 was that bad that you had more complaints in it than you had. Let me restate that. You had more compliments about this episode than you'll probably have in any other episode, right? You have more compliments about this, and you're saying it's the worst episode of TV. Do you just be yapping? Do you know what you're talking about? You would stop watching television after you still gave it compliments and you said it wasn't that bad and the acting was decent from your boy, from your crush.
Flashback before the war as we see more of the life of Cooper Howard before he became the ghoul. It turns out he was in fact an actor for westerns, and his wife is an executive at Vault Tech. It's good to see even in the alternate future of the Fallout universe, we still have diversity hires in the highest position of power. Back in the present, we see that
it's good to see that we still have diversity hires. Yeah, thank God you blacks are. Hey, thank God you're still getting in them show roles, bro. Let me tell you.
Ghoul has come across the corpse of the Enclave scientist, and we get yet another huge retcon. Ghouls now have to take a special serum to avoid going feral. In the original game, the reason why ghouls were hated, or at least were outcast from society, is because they were ticking time bombs. They could go feral at any moment. I can't remember if it's ever quite confirmed, but it's definitely suspected that extended exposure to radiation eventually rots their brain completely and they go feral. But no, now in the show, there's a special serum that they have to take periodically to avoid going feral. I know there's gonna be some idiot that's gonna say that this is not a retcon, but there were plenty of ghouls that survived over 200 years. What is it that happened in the past 15 after New Vegas that ghouls now all of a sudden have to take a serum? No, this is a fucking retcon. After a pointless scene with Lucy,
it's a retcon. It's a retcon. It's a retcon. They can't have things. It's a retcon. They can't have things. It's a retcon. It's a fucking retcon. It's a fucking retcon.
After a pointless scene with Lucy, we're back to Maximus.
He needs Jet, some serum that he don't even know what the serum's called. I'm pretty sure it's Jet. I'm pretty sure it's Jet. They say he needs
last
Jet.
Episode where he lies to the Brotherhood, pretending
Pretty sure
to
all
be
ghouls need Jet though.
and says that Maximus died. Again, there's no consequences for this. It never comes up again. After a borderline pointless scene where he has to sell one of his teeth to afford repairing a part, a bunch of raiders try to steal his power armor, and he gets his ass beat, again, because he lost his to steal his power armor, and he gets his ass... A bunch of...
Raiders? I have to just read this note. They're not really raiders, more like thugs. Raiders only show up twice in the show. Yes, really.
Raiders tried
to
steal his power.
These are thugs. These aren't raiders. Hey, thugs.
He gets his ass beat again because he lost his gun off screen. He does manage to beat up most of them, including crushing one of their heads with the power armor. And then the Brotherhood,
which was pretty fucking sick. You can't even lie, but you know you won't say that. That's a black man doing that, so.
of Steel arrives, giving him a new squire. And of course, it's one of the guys who beat him up in the first scene he shows up. And so Maximus, being one of our main protagonists, a hero we can all look up to, nearly crushes his fucking head. Dude, I couldn't believe this. Is he supposed to be a villain? Man, you can tell these guys got beat up in high school and this is their revenge fantasy.
Yo. Delete.
See, because Maximus continues the cycle of bullying, doing exactly what Titus did to him. When we get back to Lucy...
Wow, that's so interesting. It's like the character has some depth to him. It's like those people were bullying him and he does the same exact thing because now he's in the situation with power. It's so crazy. How can this happen? That's illogical. That wouldn't happen. I mean, I already know what Synthetic Man was doing. Them boys were beating his ass up, giving him wedgies, and he was just running, hiding in the toilet, and that's it.
Let me just go play with my Nintendo PS. Let me go play with my PSP in the bathroom. Let me go play with my PSP in the bathroom, bro. And keep bullying me. I'm gonna go shit my pants over here. I'm gonna play my games over here.
I'm now realizing I neglected to mention what she's actually doing. She's trying to deliver the head to the raider chick Moldaver, whose real identity is really stupid, but we'll get to that at the end. Anyway, she comes across a lake and is attacked by a gulper, which you may remember from the Far Harbor DLC for Fallout 4. Now, they looked completely different in that. Now they're giant pink salamanders with fingers in their mouths for some reason. This makes him seem more like an FEV mutant. Why the hell would radiation make you grow human fingers in your mouth? Whatever. Anyway,
he's not watching the show. They say later that's an experiment gone wrong. Let's see if he brings it up let's see if he brings it up. That is an experiment gone wrong. One of the test subjects in the vaults, he was just complaining about, oh, they do crazy things in the vaults. They do things. Let's see if he even paid attention to that.
Eats the head. Of course, the ghoul catches up with her and decides to use her as bait while he monologues about how ineffective torture is. This is probably the scene where I ended up liking this guy because he's definitely a villain. I don't know if they were attempting to write an anti-hero, but he's definitely not. He's a villain, but he's a good...
Is he a fucking... Yes, I like the guy. I like the villain who is torturing the girl. Yes, this was a scene I really liked when he's torturing her ass. You know what I'm saying? Really making her suffer and shit like that. Because I won't even lie, I like the scene too. It wasn't my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Synthetic's man's favorite, but he's seen his god. He's seen his king, his white god, do some dirty work. And he liked that. You know what I'm saying? This incel fuck like that.
Good villain. Walton Goggins is a great actor, and I think they were trying to go for a New Vegas vibe with the cowboy thing, but to me, it honestly feels more like a character straight out of the New Vegas Bounties mods developed by Some Guy 2000, and those are all great if you haven't played them. Despite being some of the old...
What did he just... I felt like they tried to do something New Vegas, but it felt like something from a mod that that was inspired by New Vegas Bounties. Is he...
Some Guy 2000, and those are all great if you haven't played them. Despite being some of the oldest mods for New
Don't
Vegas,
mention Some Guy 2000
still...
in your fucking videos, bro. He will be ashamed to be affiliated with you, I'm pretty sure.
Probably the best. Back at Vault 33, we get our third concurrent plot throughout the season, the mystery behind this triple vault system. I gotta say, it was actually pretty intriguing. For a while, this was my favorite part of the show, and the reason I kept watching. Big Schnoz actually turns out to be a pretty good character. Unfortunately...
Who the fuck? Did he just call Moises Ari's Big Schnoz? That's the Hannah Montana gold!
They really ruin it at the end, so I'm not going to cover it episode by episode. We'll talk about the whole side plot when it wraps up at the end. after we get a scene dedicated to Maximus just abusing
Oh, look, here he goes. Yep. Oh, look at this white knight.
his bully, we get another subtle retcon. The bully implies that the Brotherhood of Steel is going to wipe out ghouls from existence. Did the writers confuse the Brotherhood with the Enclave? Killing ghouls has never been an objective of the Brotherhood. Where the hell did this come from? And don't even tell me he pulled this out his ass just because he's supposed to be a racist. Though, actually, knowing these writers, maybe that is exactly what they're implying. But anyway, back to the ghoul and Lucy. The Gulper eventually takes bite, nearly voring Lucy, but of course it gets away. And this is where another major plot hole happens. The ghoul says Gulpers digest slowly. He then makes a joke about side quests.
The Wasteland's got its own golden receiver.
Oh, what's that?
Thou shalt get sidetracked by bullshit every goddamn time.
Ooh, wow, haha, so meta. And then he leaves to go sell Lucy's
No.
organs. I'm not making this up. That is the sequence of events.
I won't lie. I like that part. I won't lie. As soon as he said mention the side quest and shit, I won't lie. I guess I'm a normie. I guess I'm a black normie.
I seriously
Fuck.
have to ask at this point, if you're a real human and you like this show, did you get high before watching? Were you drinking? Did you get vaxxed 3 or 4 times? How the hell could you like this show?
Did you get vaxxed 3 or 4 times? Where the fuck did that come from? So he's an anti-vaxxer too?
So back to Maximus and the Squire, we get an incredibly awkward scene.
You can
where
do what you want with
Maximus-
your body. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying take the vax. You know what I'm saying? I was actually one of those people who didn't want to take it initially at first. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want with your body. Don't make fun of people for not wanting to do the same thing. You know you got vaccinated when you were born, you fucking idiot.
This gets the Squire to explain why he bullied him. But obviously, since he's still pretending to be Titus, he does it by trying to get him to say something horrible about him, and this somehow leads him to explaining that the only reason he bullied Maximus is because he himself was bullied until he showed up, and so he just redirected the bullying to Maximus. And so it's supposed to be this big like, oh, see, this guy's not so bad. And so then Maximus starts treating him better. Unfortunately, this goes in a really stupid direction later, but I actually kind of like this scene. It felt much more mature than the rest of this show, but it was handled somewhat poorly. Oh, and I know I said I wasn't going to bring up the Vault 33 subplot, but I do want to point out that a black guy...
Bro, look,
who I guess
I'm not
is
gonna lie. Whoa. Before he even gets into another thing, look how he's even playing the game. I'm sorry. This is how you know. Not saying that you can't play this way. Maybe this was his 80th million run because, you know, he has to make sure that everything in the lore was accurate. Guns, 92. Explosions, 75. Repair, 78. Speech, 16. Barter, 16. He don't play with any of the... I don't think he ever plays with the charisma. Speech. Sneak, 35. He don't go in there. Hey. No, look, all of these things that aren't upgraded, it's a lot of dialogue options. He just like to go run and gun.
engineer,
Which is
says
fine.
that the water chip is
That's what is good
broken.
about Fallout. You can play it any way you want to.
And they never bring it up again. So that was just a completely pointless reference to Fallout 1. Which is funny because if you've played Fallout 1, you know that this show completely shits all over the story with all of the retcons. You want me to name another big one? The Master, the villain of the original game who was turning people into super mutants, was finding those people from vaults, and his headquarters was located near the Boneyard. It would have been in spitting distance of Vault 33. You're telling me that he never found this vault that was out in the open? He never managed to get inside and mutate all those people into super mutants. Speaking of super mutants, there are none in this show. The West Coast canonically has intelligent super mutants unless they all got killed by the Brotherhood of the Enclave or something.
First season. Imagine putting the Deathclaw and everything in the first season. They didn't even put the geckos in there. First season.
But no, they are never mentioned in this show. One of the most iconic things in the Fallout franchise isn't in the Fallout TV show. Okay, enough
Yo, almost everything about the fucking damn games are iconic, alright, bro? The bat system, which you haven't even mentioned, that she uses on her thing. I mean, the Pit Boy, my bad. Oh, right now it's been pretty accurate. I'm not gonna lie, it actually looks pretty good on the Pit Boy looks pretty good. You haven't said nothing about that yet, but.
Vengeance, let's wrap up this episode. Eventually, Maximus catches up to the head. He saves his squire from being devoured alive, yanks out its guts, and now they have the head. And for the final scene, it cuts back to the ghoul and Lucy, and to just spit in my face in particular, and all the shills who fucking lied in my first review. The ghoul drinks water directly in front of Lucy. And you know what's funny? In a later episode, he eats food too. Ghouls need water to survive. This has been established multiple times in the series.
Oh my god, he's losing his mind.
Oh my god, you can go multiple times in the series.
Did that on purpose. He did that on purpose to like fuck with it, right?
And it's now established in the show, and yet he was buried underground for years with no water or food.
With no water, can you explain that with no water?
And for the final scene of the episode, we're back in the past again, and we see that Cooper inspired the Vault Boy. Yes, even though the Vault Boy has blonde hair, no, it was Walton Goggins' character throwing up a thumbs up that inspired the Vault Boy. Wow, what a great addition to the Fallout lore.
Wow. Well, he can't change his hair color in the fucking Photoshop.
It's a 4 out of 10. It was definitely better than the last one.
My bad, they didn't have Photoshop back then. I had to be living that reality. Oh my god, they could have just used negatives.
Completely, and didn't care about the Fallout lore at all. It's kinda watchable, but it certainly isn't good by any metric. On to episode 4. This one is supposed to be all about Lucy losing her innocence and seeing how horrific the wasteland is. It starts off with the ghoul taking her to some other ghoul guy who's about to turn feral, and I'm just gonna call him Cooper for the rest of the show. The ghoul is such a stupid fucking name. Cooper shoots him before he goes feral, and then
why is the ghoul a stupid name? That's the ghoul you're following. That's the ghoul you're following. His name is Cooper. He's just the ghoul you're following. He's the ghoul you're following. The ghoul you're following.
Him.
He's not a ghoul you're following. He's the ghoul you're following. The ghoul, the main ghoul. There's other ghouls in there, buddy. There's other ghouls in the show. You know what I'm saying? But when you're doing side quests and you're helping, what is it? The freedom? What is it? Freedom? Whatever. In New Vegas, and the ghouls are talking about, oh, I want to go use the rock and shit. You're helping a ghoul. That's the ghoul. You're helping the ghoul go fly his rockets to a different place. Oh my god.
Eat other ghouls. What the hell? But I guess I finally figured out why Zoomers like this show. He eats ass.
Come on, Vaulty. Ass jerky don't make itself.
In the next scene, we see Lucy has gotten so thirsty that
he's paying attention to the dumb parts of the show, bro. I'm telling you. I could barely even hear him when he said it now.
Drink irradiated water. And conveniently, Cooper starts to turn feral because he ran out of serum, I guess. So Lucy makes a run for it. But he catches her with his lasso, but then she ends up biting his finger off. And so to get even, he slices one of her fingers off, and she barely even reacts, dude. What is this terrible acting? And you guys say she's not a Mary Sue. Oh, and once again, I want to briefly talk about Vault 33 because
maybe she was
Sweet
so
Home
stunned.
Alabama.
Maybe she was so shocked that her finger got cut off. Maybe she just was so immersed, so drenched from not having any food, so dehydrated she can't even feel anything. Maybe, I don't know.
Emma ends up hooking
Movie
up
magic?
with the block.
Potentially, is it movie magic? Is it video game magic? When you put the stem packs into your body and you just heal up? I don't know.
On chick after her husband died, and she's pregnant with his child, and she ends up giving birth, and Alabama raises another man's child. Now I know why Redditors like this show. But before I start saying
What the fuck? People think that situation is crazy. He's in a fuck situation. You think that's why people like the show, bruh? He might be saying that as a joke. I mean, I don't know. His dad had left him, so I don't know.
Be banned. Let's get back to Lucy and Cooper. He ends up delivering her to a super duper mart that functions as a organ harvesting clinic. As soon as she gets inside, he passes out. I guess that's part of the process of becoming feral now. And she ends up meeting a Mr. Handy, and she acts like she's never seen one before. I mean, I can understand her vault not having any of them, but really? She knows about power armor. Whatever. We get another kind of stupid scene where the Mr. Handy sews a rotting finger that
Mr. Handy's and I don't ever see
in a drawer
Mr. Handy's and Brotherhood of Steels with each other
not
often.
Frozen,
I feel like their lore,
their
their shit would not intermingle a lot.
just works.
I could be wrong.
Then the Mr. Handy rolls her out to the two owners of this legitimate business, and they're straight out of Idiocracy. There's no guards here, by the way, either. These guys own like more than a dozen slaves, yet they couldn't afford any raider guards or mercs or anything to that effect. Paradise Falls from Fallout 3 had to have at least 20 slavers in there who were fully armed and competent. But, you know, in the Fallout TV show, it's just
maybe one pack of people you meet. You know, every pack of people you meet in Fallout, you're picking specific ones, which is funny for your fucking debates. But you know, not every group you meet in Fallout is like that. You meet people just swinging at you with bats and they're talking shit the whole time.
Robot. Because, you know, no one would be smart enough to try and actually raid a place full of supplies. No. Especially not after the NCR collapsed. There definitely wouldn't be raiders trying to get supplies. No. Oh, and it gets even dumber. When the Mr. Handy takes her to the surgery room, it doesn't sedate her, and she just kicks its fucking arm? A 90-pound woman kicked a robot's arm and then just rolled
this is
off
the woman thing. Oh, my... I had zoned out, bro. He was starting to talk about the women, and it just brought me up. This is what these people like to do. A lot of sometimes these people who are watching the shows and things like that, it like boggles their mind that women are doing things that they potentially can't do sometimes, and so they mention their weight, what will probably be doing in this situation. I don't see synthetic man getting out of a situation like that. He might get chopped up in bits and pieces. He thinks his survivor skills might be better than hers, but I mean, we've had women in TV shows like doing capable things for like years. Why is this starting to become a thing now, like where you woke people are starting to say that this is like a foreign concept? This is not a foreign concept. It might be foreign to you because you don't get women and you don't know how they interact. You just interact with women in video games, but in IRL, real life, a 90-pound woman could probably suplex your dumb ass, synthetic man.
Of the bed. Then she uses a defibrillator to shock the thing. Anyway, she rolls out the Mr. Handy to the two idiots. They make a joke about her holding a air conditioner hostage. While they don't draw their guns, because she's clearly no threat to them, she reveals that she filled its hose with a Braxo cleaner, which is basically just supposed to be bleach, but the show acts like it's hydrochloric acid. Either way, she gets them to release all of the slaves.
Whatever the fuck it is, you know it is gonna kill them. That's why they're tense, because you're not supposed to be having a Drano or a Baxo cleaner or whatever the fuck.
Ghouls, which, why the hell do they have feral ghouls as slaves? Don't even try to tell me that ghoul organs are good for something. And obviously you can't use feral ghouls for any slave labor. This doesn't make any sense. Did anyone watching this show use...
Yo, they have feral ghouls in there, bro. Maybe we shouldn't go inside of their place. Maybe they don't have armed security because they have feral ghouls trapped inside of there, and they can just let them out whenever they want and they can kill us. Maybe that's why anyone has a... Oh, I think some synthetic man's brain has stopped working.
Use their brain.
30 more minutes to go. Holy.
Whatever. The ghouls and the idiots manage to take each other out, except for one woman who's barely holding it together. Of course, she ends up going feral, and Lucy has to pick up the 10mm pistol from Fallout. Make sure to get your replica in the Bethesda store. You know what's funny? There was a bot that actually...
he was complaining about the guns not being like authentic to real life or whatever, and now we're one authentic in the game. Oh, get you one of the potato shop. Get you one of the potato shop. It's like you can't please dudes who hate women. You can't. They just play video games all day.
Tried to say this show was made with love.
This is games to them are the real life. You got to make sure that like when you're making these shows that you know that this is real life to them. This video game you see right here, this is real life. So if you have things that you can't, you have to take your creative abilities into real life shit and transmute the video game into real life. You're gonna have a hard time because some of these people right here, let me tell you, they'll be playing a video game, but they'll want the show to be so realistic. Is kind of crazy.
They made a replica 10mm pistol from Fallout 4. This isn't even the original design for the 10mm pistol. No, this is the Fallout 4 redesign. In fact, all of the iconic Fallout weapons are the Fallout 4 designs. And look, I realize this
unfortunately, yes, it might hurt your feelings, Synthetic Man. It might hurt your feelings, but Fallout 4 is the biggest one, and unfortunately, running New Vegas on PCs, modern PCs, is a pain in the ass for people who don't know how to mod. And unfortunately, the consoles that those things came out on are discontinued. And unfortunately, it don't look like Bethesda or Obsidian are trying to remake this game. So sit your ass down. This spin-off game, because yes, I love Fallout New Vegas, one of my favorites, but it is the spin-off. Bethesda bought that bit. Y'all know how art works. Now y'all want to, oh no, now you're not sticking to the, now y'all want to support the artist. Go watch Tim Kaine shit. Go watch Tim Kaine shit.
Subjective and up to personal taste, but I just think the Fallout 4 gun designs are ugly. So as we just saw, Lucy, who's totally not a Mary Sue girl boss, single-handedly took out this organ harvesting operation and then gives Cooper a vial of the ghoul serum to save him. After she leaves, Cooper heads inside and raids all of their supplies and watches one of his old cowboy movies. And I guess since he doesn't need the bounty from the Enclave guy's head anymore, he drops out of the plot for a while. And that's episode 4. Again, I'd probably have to give it another 4 out of 10. It was barely watchable. Again, the show is dumb as hell, but at the very least, Walton Goggins' acting is very entertaining to watch, but pretty much everything else about the show sucks. Now on to episode 5. The first scene in this episode is incredibly stupid. Maximus reveals to his squire that he's not in fact Titus, and so Maximus is like, listen, we got to get our story straight before we report back to the Brotherhood.
I'll give him this. It is a stupid scene because Maximus stopped put too much trust in him. He put too much trust in him. I won't even lie, so I'll give Synthetic Man that. Another one. Synthetic Man, maybe the brain is working today.
But no, the squire guy is like, they're gonna kill you. Why the hell would they kill him, especially if he hadn't lied in the first place? But even though he did lie, he could just say that Titus died honorably in combat, and so he had to take up the power armor to finish the mission. Why would they kill him for that? They're not even supposed to be here in the West Coast. They were eliminated by the new California Republic. And by the end of New Vegas, depending on who you sided with, they were either absorbed into the NCR or wiped out completely by like all of the other factions. That's really something I should have mentioned in the first video, but my point is, it doesn't really make any sense to bring them back just to make them look this bad. Anyway, Maxis, being clearly an evil psycho, stomps on the squire's foot,
Hey, next time he says a point, bro, I'm gonna be right in there. I just ignored that one.
crushing it, and it looks horribly mangled when they show it later. But he manages to get behind him and removes the fusion core from the power armor, which of course the showrunner's doing zero research. Think that you get locked inside the armor when it runs out of power. Can you imagine in Fallout 4 if when you ran out of fusion cores, you just got soft locked? And don't tell me that's just a gameplay mechanic. That makes no fucking sense. Even in the dystopian world of Fallout, you don't think Someone would have brought up at some point that you get locked inside power armor if it runs out of power. Yeah, again, more bad writing and retcons, but no, the show never breaks the canon. The show never breaks the canon. I'm not an AI chatbot, I swear. Anyway.
It's not that. It's not that the show is not canon. Okay? It's not that. It's not even that they're retconning things, okay? As you claim, they're destroying things. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the power armor, you being locked in it because, oh, they're retconning it. Maybe not all the power armors work like that, but this is the power armor that we're seeing right now. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's what Synthetic Man is saying. Yes, it's dumb that he will be locked in there. There you go. I can't even lie. This is...
The next morning, a bunch of rad roaches tried to devour him alive, but Lucy just so happens to find him. Guys, how big is this wasteland? Supposed to be 3 blocks? And yes, I know Lucy has a tracker on the head, but the Squire already left hours ago. What are the chances she would pass down the exact same path where the head was the previous night? Whatever, I guess I'm nitpicking again. So after a really long, pointless conversation, Lucy decides to trust him. Maximus is like the one guy she should trust because
a long,
he literally
pointless
saved
conversation, bro. I'm telling you, bro, his speech skills is like low. It's like low, bro. I'm seeing him talk to the person here, and all he's doing is guns, and he want to shoot, bro. He just don't have no speech skills. They be talking too much. Does he know the lore for real again, bro? Really, bro? Or does he skim the lore?
her life. But anyway, they start traveling together and she asks him what happened in the last 200 years. And this idiot thought that when she mentioned the bombs falling, that she was referring to the nuke dropped on Shady Sands and not the world ending. So we've established that the Brotherhood of Steel is not only debatably evil now, but they don't even teach initiates basic history. Eventually, the pair come across two suspicious figures on a bridge, and Maximus, being smart for once, says we should draw our gun. Because we can't trust anyone, right? Because Lucy just told us that she doesn't trust people anymore, right? No, this fucking dumb bitch doesn't want to draw her gun, and oh, big shock, they turn out to be fiends. Yes, they're trying to throw a bone to New Vegas fans after shitting.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. He's being like dishonest, because this is another skill check.
Fucking dumb bitch doesn't.
Well, first of all, we gotta relax.
That she, because
you gotta relax. He is spazzing on her for acting. She has to act like that. You need to relax.
Anyone, right? Because Lucy just told us that she doesn't trust people anymore, right? No, this fucking dumb bitch.
Is that no? This fucking dumb bitch. I'm telling you, the incel is coming out. You gotta relax, bro. I know you like Walter Goggins, bro, but you can relax, dude. Holy.
Doesn't want to draw our gun, and oh, big shock, they turn out to be fiends. Yes, they're trying.
Yeah, I think we knew that. Oh my god. Yo, he's stupid, bro. He's stupid. She's still trying to give people a chance, bro. She's not gonna come out here and just start murking people, bro. You already know the game and the series, bro. You're coming in from the mindset of someone who already knows that, bro. But if you weren't actually, I won't even put you into a woman's shoes, because I think that would be disrespectful to them. Oh my gosh.
To throw a bone to New Vegas fans after shitting down their throat multiple times. And one of the fiends.
No. The only thing going down, shitting down your throat is yours, buddy. They ain't shit down my throat when it comes to the New Vegas scene. That's what I'm saying. There's some with them incels and getting their throats putting in there. They like to make fun of other people, but they be saying some out of pocket shit too. You gotta listen.
Gets a shot off on Maximus. He loaded a rotten tooth into his gun, which I'm not even going to get into that, but whatever. The point is, he gets injured because Lucy's an idiot. Then next up, we finally get to the biggest fuck you in the entire show, where we see the giant crater where Shady Sands used to be. It was populated with 34,000 people. And as they reveal in the later scene, it looks like they basically restored civilization back to the wasteland, just like I said in my review of episode 1. And like I mentioned in the intro, this is not where Shady Sands is located. Shady Sands is not in LA. It's like at least 100 miles outside of it.
Oh shit, wow, it's... Maybe they can only shoot there, dude. Maybe they're not gonna use all of LA, dude. Unfortunately, maybe that's not. Maybe it'd be a little easier for them. Yo, this place, let's put the Boneyard in Oakland, and let's put Shady Sands in LA. Let's say the NCR expanded in the time when Fallout New Vegas ended or whatever, and they had Shady Sands in LA. You never know. You never know. You haven't even gauged how to do that yet, but let's see.
Could have looked this shit up on the wiki, man. There's no excuse. They didn't do any research. And Todd Howard hates what Fallout's really about, and that's a post-apocalypse where humanity is trying to rebuild after the world ended. And by the time of Fallout New Vegas, they succeeded. The new California Republic dominated the state. They effectively brought the old world America back, though arguably even more corrupt, and it was starting to fall apart at the time of New Vegas. If you paid attention to the dialogue from a lot of the characters, especially Caesar, a big part of his motivation with the Legion was seeing the gradual decline of the NCR. But instead of seeing that happen naturally, due to the results,
The NCR is already
of the
declining.
second battle of
The NCR is
Hoover
already
Dam-
declining.
No, but
The
that's
NCR is already declining. They have like they control over this shit, but they're spread out and they're weak. That's the whole point of it. They're weak all over New Vegas, and Legion wanted to come in and wipe them out clear because they couldn't handle it.
just fucking nuked it back to square one. Somehow, just destroying the capital city wiped out an entire empire across the state. Why did Bethesda do this? Well, a lot of people speculate it's because of the long-running rumor that they hate Fallout New Vegas because they didn't make it, Obsidian did. And a lot of the people who worked on Fallout New Vegas worked on Fallout 1 and 2. And so, of course, to no one's surprise, the original creators of the series did a much better job than the hacks at Bethesda. And Fallout New Vegas is still considered by most to be the greatest game in the series. So Bethesda has been butthurt about this for over a decade, and this show was finally their opportunity to say fuck you to all the real fans of Fallout. That's
Trust me, if you like Fallout New Vegas, you know what I'm saying? I would say that you have played one of the best ones. In my opinion, I haven't played all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, I've been playing through 1 and 2 now. I might do a little stream on that recently. We'll see. But yeah, he is a little nutty to think that they would retcon the one that is actually the best one in the series. And if you, even him being delusional, if we go back to when he introduced the scene, he saw that the shot was New Vegas. So he watched all the way to the end of season 2. So he knows that they're going to go to New Vegas.
It's exactly what happened, and that is why I fucking despise the people who like this show. Fallout died with Fallout 4, and this is just pissing on the corpse. In the last couple scenes of the show, Lucy and Maximus take refuge inside of Vault 4, and it's another vault that has somehow managed to survive over 200 years. Do the writers even understand the appeal of the vaults in the Fallout games? Discovering the horrendous experiments that either killed or mutated everyone inside is one of the most fun parts of those games.
He only played New Vegas. You can tell. He only played New Vegas. You can tell. Because Vault 22, yeah, that one's mutated and the plants are growing out and shit like that. But there's other vaults in there. In Fallout 3, you see another vault that's fully populated and shit like that. Like, what are you talking about? You go to other vaults and they're populated. Are you crazy? Not every single one. But they all have their own stories. That's kind of the point of the vaults, that they all have their stories, no?
And while it's obvious that some experiments went down here, they subvert your expectations, I'll put it at that. And that's the end of episode 5. I can't really give this a real rating because I skipped about half the episode, since about half of it was
what the fuck? I mean, you could do that, right? You're allowed to do that as a reviewer. You can skip through the show and shit like that. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. This man has more.
33 subplots. And I will say that half of the episode was definitely better, but showing where Shady Sands got nuked is such a massive fuck you to the real fans of Fallout that I can't really rate this in good faith. It ruins the entire series. Episode 6 begins with another flashback showing Cooper Howard advertising for the vaults. He's then approached by an executive named Bud, and they start talking about T-45 power armor, and apparently now there's a new fatal flaw with the armor that has never come up before. Definitely not a retcon. The show never breaks the canon, as the bots say. And of course, this is foreshadowing for one of the dumbest scenes in the show in the finale. We'll get to that later. I also want to point out that the T-51 is never mentioned in the show. In fact, did you know that China is never mentioned by name in the show? They only ever referred to them as the Reds.
Bro, we're not in good terms with China right now. You know that. You know that. Now you pushing it. Now you're pushing it, Synthetic Man. You know we're on not good terms right now. Apparently, we're not on good terms with them. They trying to ban TikTok. You saw what they were doing. They told him he was a Chinese Communist Party. They kept asking him. Even though he's from Singapore, you already know America don't like China, bro. They'll do anything.
That's a coincidence? Actually, to the morons who like the show, yeah, they probably do think it is. Anyway, this Corpo guy is incredibly obnoxious. The only reason he exists is a setup for a later twist, which is also stupid. The next scene is a corporate party at Cooper's house, and we get to meet the voice of Cogsworth and all the Mr. Handies. Then they talk about communists for a while, and we get quite possibly the dumbest theme of the show that keeps getting pushed from this point forward, that you can make a massive profit off of the end of the world. Now, if you don't take this literally, there is an argument to be made that you can make a lot of money off of selling the apocalypse, especially if you're a gun store. But that's not what they're going for. They are very literal with this, as you'll see later. Then in the next scene, we see a couple sheriffs have captured
There'll
Cooper.
be like, I'm telling you, it's because he only plays with guns, bro. He might have only played this game three, 4 times, but just playing the same build.
And they say they work for the government. Now, I thought this might be a setup for the Enclave to come back, but no, this is a complete nothing burger, as you'll see later in this episode. And now we're back to Lucy and Maximus again in Vault 4. I'm going to very briefly sum up everything that happens in this vault, because it's complete filler. You could cut this entire part of the show out and lose nothing of value. But first, I have to show you quite possibly the worst dialogue I've ever seen in a TV show.
You want to have sex?
You mean use my cock?
Yeah.
I don't know. That weird thing could happen.
What weird thing?
Well, it's just for some guys, not me. But for some guys, you know, when they make it move, it gets all big and hard like a big pimple, and then it pops. You know, they say it could happen to anybody, but it's gross.
The Brotherhood of Steel doesn't teach kids about sex. This is what I'm saying. They're obviously supposed to be evangelical Christians who are probably also racist. This is so fucking transparent.
Yo, Yo, he's not. He don't like. They're more related to the Romans and Caesar's Legion.
Bethesda is so stupid that they let this go through. Okay, anyway, as for the Vault 4 plot, long story short, we get to see the infamous chalkboard that explains what happened to the NCR. Shady Sands mysteriously fell, quote unquote, in 2277, and this has been confirmed by Todd Howard himself, that this is not the nuke being showed in the chalkboard. No, of course, the nuke dropped at an unknown date that's not written on the chalkboard. And this is totally intentional because, you know, every other point on the chalkboard has a year next to it, but not the nuke, right? No one knows when the nuke dropped because the show has to be canon, which means that it couldn't have dropped in 2277 because obviously every goddamn NCR soldier in New Vegas in 2281 would have fucking mentioned their capital getting nuked. So no, mysteriously, sometime in the 2280s...
He's getting upset. Those, you know, it's like he's not going back and playing the game right now.
Shady Sands got nuked, but before that, they quote-unquote fell. Even though, again, not a single NPC in New Vegas describes Shady Sands having fallen, especially not, you know, Caesar, the guy who monologues about how the NCR is slowly becoming more corrupt and collapsing. No, he wouldn't talk about Shady Sands falling. No. It's almost like all the people defending this didn't play the game. Whatever. Anyway, I gotta move on.
It's not that. It's just maybe they didn't completely retcon it, you dumb fuck. And they didn't put a date because they just want to leave it mysterious and not mess up Fallout New Vegas, potentially. They would have all been mentioning it. When they were making Fallout New Vegas, they didn't know they were making a fucking show for it, bruh. That's his own shit. You should be happy. I'm not gonna lie, we should be even happy that they're giving this one lore, bruh. Because I honestly thought they would just stick to 3, 4, 1, and 2. New Vegas probably shouldn't even be getting that much love, but people know that we love that one the most. So New Vegas is getting love, but you gotta, dude, gotta relax.
So, of course, the residents of this vault, at least some of them, are mutants. The Overseer has one eye. There's a guy with a nose on his forehead. Of course, nobody ever brings it up because they have to build the tension like they're going to get captured and experimented on. Well, actually, no, they completely subvert your expectations. As it turns out, the original residents of the vault were mega evil Nazi scientists who did the weirdest experiments ever, including making a woman give birth to baby gulpers.
Volts, now when the Volts are doing crazy experiments, right? Now when the Volts are doing crazy experiments, they have to be Nazis and all these things, right? I don't know if he's saying that in a way that's in a way that the Volt lore is good or is bad now, but now the thing that he was asking for, right? Oh, they were just doing weird experiments in the Volts. What are they talking about? They were just doing weird things in there. Now he's complaining about it. Let's listen.
Who then devour her alive. But eventually, the lab rats rose up and killed all the evil scientists, and now they just accept surface dwellers into their vault. And these surface dwellers have now become cultists for Moldaver. They worship her as some kind of god or some shit, and this is never followed up on, by the way. And as it turns out, Moldaver is actually from the past, and they don't explain that either. And I know what you're gonna say, and we'll get to that. But there's no reason why she would have been one of the people who was preserved. So this stupid waste of time subplot that adds nothing to the story ends with Maximus stealing their fusion core, possibly killing all of them, getting in his power armor, beating the shit out of people for no reason except for humor, and then when they leave, Lucy convinces him to give them back the fusion core so they don't all die. And this is over the course of 2 episodes.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, this one right here, this guy right here, he is disingenuous as fuck, bruh. I can't even lie, disingenuous. He wanted a whole thing with the Volts to be about experimentation. They gave him 2 episodes with it. They give him a little break in between. I'm pretty sure they split it up. They put the one with Moises Iries in there, you know, the one that he called Big Nose. He did all of that. And he's still gonna sit here and say,
fucking wasted the audience's time so hard with this one. Anyway,
you see what I did there? You see what I did there? You see what I did there?
Episode 6. Next scene, we get yet another flashback where we learn that Cooper's wife is just straight up evil. Not only do they not allow dogs in the vault for seemingly no reason, but she also emotionally manipulates him into believing that she's the victim for him going off to war and possibly dying, experiencing untold horrors. He probably has PTSD, but no, she's the victim because she had to wonder if he would come back.
I'm not gonna lie, yo, this is really telling. He's probably never actually been in a relationship. Not saying that this is a good thing, but if you actually have been in a relationship and you understand emotions and women, sometimes it does tend to be like this. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a real nigga and you know what I'm saying? Sometimes niggas be taking L's off that shit. You just gotta chop that up as an L, bro, because you know how she started crying.
Back home alive.
But he wouldn't know that. He wouldn't know the experience of being with a woman. He only knows it through a video game, and it's kind of sad, bro. Damn, I feel bad for you, bro. Would you have turned out like this if you had gotten some love, bro? Oh my god.
Kidding me? This is Hillary Clinton all over again. Back to the present, we get another kind of pointless scene. Admittedly, it was
Hillary
cool,
Clinton all over again. What the hell? What was
Cooper
that for?
is taken in front of the president, who's basically just a warlord who decided to call himself the president because he wants to restore law to the waste again. And Cooper sews his finger back on. I guess ghouls can just heal without radiation now. Cooper ends up taking responsibility for shutting down the organ harvesting operation and also admits to killing multiple people in Philly. I'm assuming this is so they don't find out about the chip in the Enclave scientist's head. So then we get a kind of cool scene straight out of a Western where he kills both of the sheriffs. Then over the course of 2 different flashbacks, we get to see that Moldaver not only is from the past and survived all the way to the present with no explanation. No, she wasn't frozen. Not only that, but she was the leader of a company that was discovering how to
That's the one thing. Hold on, I gotta seize.
create cold fusion, an unlimited energy source, which of course Vault-Tec bought her out because obviously capitalists don't want to end the resource war. And yeah, that's episode 6. I told it largely out of order.
Yep, yeah, you did. We know that. But basically what I'll give him a point of that. That is one thing they don't really say throughout a lot of the show, or they don't really explain it. Maybe they'll explain it in season 2 because the show was already greenlit for a second season. So, and we saw them going to New Vegas. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, they won't keep retconning Laura. But anyway, we seen that she is in the past and in the future, but they didn't explain it. But throughout the show, they're saying that they put the people in vaults to freeze them. She wouldn't be one of those people to use the vaults. So it's like, what happened? Did she end up using it? Did she mess her way in there? But I feel like that would have been a thing. But they don't really actually build on that, which is, I'll say that, yeah.
But that's because 6 and 7 might as well have been a big 2-parter. So I'm not going to rate this one. Let's just go to episode 7. At the start of episode 7, we see 2 prospectors wearing NCR Veteran Ranger armor. And no, they don't explain it. This is purely just a visual reference to try and appease New Vegas fans. Not to mention, that's like the cheapest looking costume probably in this whole show. I've seen cosplays better than that. At least the scene becomes cool afterward as the ghoul is waiting for them. Cooper explains
I think it's because they're getting closer to New Vegas that the Ranger's there. I know he's a little slow and shit like that, and he forgot what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? They are traveling to, well, they're trying to get in the head to her. The further they travel west, the more they are towards Las Vegas. So, I mean, east, whatever.
Her son, but the bullet hole in the letter landed perfectly on the spot pointing to where Moldaver is located. So he threatens to kill the other son if he isn't given location, and well, he does end up killing him. So even though he didn't end up getting the location, I still thought it was a pretty entertaining scene. In a later scene,
he shot that kid. I mean, it was pretty funny he shot that kid, but what the fuck?
On the head situation. The Squire's foot is horribly mangled, so he's probably going to die. And this piece of shit decides to lock up dog meat in a Nuka-Cola cooler. What the fuck? I thought they were trying to make this character sympathetic. Then in a much later scene...
No, they weren't, White Knight. That's what you're not understanding. That's what they weren't trying to make him sympathetic. They weren't trying to make him sympathetic. He snitched on Maximus. He was gonna, his whole mission right now is to go snitch on Maximus. Are you fucking, yo?
He comes across the snake oil salesman that was saved in episode 2, which I'm not even sure if I even mentioned that in this review, but who gives a shit? The point is, the guy has a magical serum that gives the guy magical regeneration powers. And in a later scene, they imply he's turning into a ghoul. Why didn't they just make it the forced evolutionary virus? Again, I brought this up earlier, but there's no super mutants in this show. But if that was a vial of FEV, that would have made perfect sense why his foot regenerated. Him turning into a ghoul doesn't make any. I don't know, whatever. This whole part was stupid. Moving on. Eventually, Cooper just so happens to come across the red rocket so he could save Dogmeat. Over hundreds of miles of wasteland he could have explored. He somehow knew exactly where to go to find Dogmeat and save him. And then we get possibly the most Borderlands scene of the entire show, where Lucy and Maximus finally catch up to the Squire. He shoots at them and misses every fucking shot, which they just turn into a joke. Then he steps over a tripwire trap that shoots a crossbow bolt into his neck, and he lives. And this is the part where they imply, oh, he's turning into a ghoul, because now you can only kill ghouls by shooting them in the head. Not a retcon, though. And then the dude just hands over the head. Doesn't matter if Maximus tried to kill him multiple times. No, they're buddies now. And Maximus now decides he's gonna betray the Brotherhood for seemingly no reason.
They're not buddies. They're not buddies. He's not even.
Lucy the real head, and he takes a smashed up head back to them with no plan. And then we get the most unintentionally funny moment in the show. Our two heroes kiss. I can't even fucking say it. I can't even get it out, guys. I'm losing my fucking mind.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Why did the black guy? They're kissing on my screen. No, Fred, I can't even get it out.
And this is gonna be my new reaction image every time I see propaganda. Okay, I've calmed down. And yeah, before I get banned, let's just wrap this up. Episode 7 actually ends with...
This is sick, bruh. This is sick. This is propaganda to him, bro. This is propaganda to him. That's propaganda to him, bruh. Are you serious? This right here is propaganda?
Brotherhood for seemingly no reason.
He's
and so
spazzing.
He gives Lucy the real head, and he's intentionally funny moment in the show. Our two heroes kiss.
Like, this is killing. This is that. It's that funny. You really this is propaganda? You've never seen this before? Has he? You really never seen? Have you stepped out? You really haven't been outside or seen, like, interacted with people who are mixed at all before? Or this isn't serious, right? Is this propaganda? Huh. That TVs is starting to incorporate more of what's happening in the real world. It's propaganda. But back when shows only showed whites and blacks in a negative light, it wasn't propaganda. Interesting, huh? This is a nice take. Synthetic man.
Really funny moment in the show. Our two heroes kiss. I can't even fucking say it. I can't even get it out, guys. I'm losing my fucking mind. This is gonna be my new reaction.
This is sad.
Every time I see propaganda. Okay, I've
The
calmed
incel
down.
laugh.
And yeah, before I get banned,
I can't even
let's
do it
just
right.
wrap
The
this
incel
up.
laugh.
Episode 7 actually ends with a scene in Vault 33, but like I said, we'll cover that whole subplot at the beginning of the next episode. Alright, I will rate episode 6 and 7 as a pair since they're pretty much linked in all their plots. I'd give them a 5, even though they definitely still shit on the lore. These were probably the two most watchable episodes where you could just kind of turn your brain off and be vaguely entertained by what's going on. Again, still not good. I feel like people's standards for television are incredibly low that they would actually like this show, because these are probably the two best episodes and they're just mediocre at best. Okay, with episode 8, I will finally wrap back around to the Vault 33 subplot and briefly sum up everything that happens. Like I said, for a while, this was the most interesting part of the show. We get to see Big Schnoz slowly unravel the mystery of what the experiment was at this tri-vault system. We see that the residents of Vault 32 all killed each other years before the raiders got to that vault. And of course, they sowed the mystery of, okay, what did they figure out about Vault 31 that caused them to all kill each other? And so Big Schnoz does some digging, despite being the manly...
We gotta figure out a name for a synthetic incel. No, we gotta think of a name, because he keeps saying Big Schnoz, and I haven't seen synthetic incel's face in a minute, so it helps not to see it. But if we have to figure out something for synthetic incel's new thing, because he's not going to sit here and disrespect Moises. He's not the GOAT, okay?
Nerd chud guy, he actually has more courage than anyone else, which I actually really like. That he's probably the most likable character in the show. What I don't like is his cousin being a cuckold and raising another man's child. And the blonde chick is from Vault 31, so she's one of the traitor people. And speaking of which, Big Schnoz finds out...
It's not by choice, you know, he's kind of being scared to do that, but they also get voted together, and they're getting a new life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he chose that, but there was a whole voting system in the vote that they did. Yeah, he skipped over that. There was a whole voting system that they had to do. That's why they're with each other, but...
all of the people who were elected overseer in Vault 32 and 33 were from Vault 31. And I find this very interesting, given the type of people who like this show think that the 2020 election was the most secure in history, you know, of course. But honestly, what I find even more interesting was the...
Oh my god, his political takes are coming out too, bro. Just review the show, bro. Please, bro. No one can... Now you're saying no one, the political votes.
Chosen number of 33. Those of you who are into conspiracy theories will know that number is associated with Freemasons. And that was definitely intentional, as you'll see with the twist in Vault 31. So anyway, somehow all of Vault 32 is seemingly cleaned up overnight, and residents of Vault 33 are to be moved back into 32 so that they can restore life to it, and the experiment in the vaults can continue. Eventually, Big Schnoz hacks into the overseer.
He skipped over the whole thing where they just get randomly picked and shit like that, and that's why the dude is over there with his wife again.
Computer and tries to communicate with 31 and is let inside. And the big twist that we discover is that the corpo guy, Bud Askin from the past, is now a brain on top of a Roomba. Are you fucking kidding me? This is Borderlands. This is not Fallout. This is Borderlands. Whatever. And
Bro. Is the computer in the first game a monster computer? You can't.
Anyway, so the big twist is that these vaults have...
Mr. Robot, Mr. House is a computer screen. Until you see his disintegrated body. Are you...
not been operating for 200 years. They've been bringing people from the past out of cryostasis. Yes, this is another vault as cryogenic freezing. No, that wasn't just an experiment in Vault 111. No, apparently it's also in Vault 31. So Lucy's dad turns out to also be from the past. That's all the Vault 33 subplot was leading toward. What a fucking disappointment. Anyway, back to episode 8. We see Maximus getting interrogated by the Brotherhood of Steel. No, they don't bring up that he impersonated Knight Titus. That plot point completely forgotten by the writers. But they do discover it's the wrong head, obviously. And he's about to be executed, but then the She-Man saves him by admitting...
Oh, yeah, he's tight. Nah, he's tight. Yeah.
The trap in her own...
You can't even tell. Yo, in the show, you can't even tell. Right here, you can't even tell.
I hate this show. Anyway, so now we get to the big climax where the Brotherhood of Steel flies over to Moldaver and her band of raiders slash ex-NCR members. And the battle looks really fucking stupid. I know some of you are gonna think, oh, this is cool. Dude, there's a Brotherhood of Steel guy in power armor with no gun who just, like, slaps dudes and slams them into a table. It's fucking dumb, dude. And it only gets
fucking dumb, dude. It's fucking dumb. Even though in Fallout you can fight people with melee weapons, it's fucking dumb, dude. They have a power fist in there. It's fucking dumb, dude. Synthetic Man knows. He knows the lore exactly. He knows what's going on.
And he makes a comment about a fatal flaw with T-45 power armor, and he wonders if T-60 fixed the flaw. Of course it didn't. So he just shoots them all in the weak spot and kills them instantly. This show's so dumb, it's unreal. This is basically a Marvel movie. No, actually, that's an insult to Marvel movies. This is a DC movie.
Marvel movies suck. You know that. Marvel movies have been sucking recently. This guy is just coping with himself, bro. I know what it is, man. I know what it is, man. After summing up this video, hearing everything Synthetic Man has had to say, he's had one girlfriend, two girlfriends maybe in his life. I'll give him that, maybe two. And I'm sorry that they had to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry for them that they had to deal with that. But I can see that the effects of whatever relationship you were in, if you even got in one, affected you so much where you have gravitated to everything being propaganda, aka woke as you call it, trans man being on a She-Man being in the show, you're losing your marbles. It might hurt to that you'll never get representation. They can't represent incels really, like in TV a lot. But and once I find something, a show for you, Synthetic Man, I got you, bro. There should be something about a show for you. There should be something out there for you. There's a specific niche that would hit your market.
Movie climax. But believe it or not, it actually gets worse because Lucy is also here, and she learns that her dad is the one who nuked Shady Sands. Okay. And they explain this with one final flashback where we get to see a meeting between all the executives of the mega corporations. They have their own Illuminati, essentially, right here. And of course, Cooper's wife represents Vault-Tec, and she suggests to everyone that they should nuke America first because they can make a profit off of the apocalypse. Guys, that might just be the dumbest plot point I have ever heard in any television show. Communists literally do not understand basic economics, supply and demand. You're telling me you want to kill off 99.999% of your customer base, and you somehow think you're going to make a profit. They've established Vault-Tec is a $1 trillion company in this show. They don't explain what they sell. We might as well just say they're Amazon. That's honestly a better headcanon than anything else you could explain. They also retcon Mr. House and make him to be an idiot.
Shut up.
He said
this is not true.
Says that he's not even sure the bombs will drop. When in New Vegas, it's established he knew it would happen. That's why he set up defenses to shoot.
No. Yeah, he knew it would happen, but I am actually playing through this part. He didn't know the exact time. He didn't know the exact time it was coming. He knew of they were doing something with the nukes. He didn't know the exact time. That's why he's trying to get the platinum chip, so all of the defenses could go. Let's see. I guess you could argue that the reason he knew the nukes would drop is because of this meeting. However, if he knew, wouldn't he obtain the platinum chip in pre-war? No, dummy. Reconnecting New Vegas? Yeah, did you play it in time? No. He was trying to get it, but you play as the kid. That's why I'm like, he was skimming through New Vegas. He doesn't even know what's going on in New Vegas. Because in New Vegas, that's the whole point. You're the courier, and you were trying to get it, and Benny betrays him, shoots him in the head because he's trying to get the platinum chip and use his yes man to control New Vegas.
Down nukes. That's why New Vegas is in such great condition compared to every other major city in the United States. So again, didn't do any basic fucking research, but oh, it doesn't break canon though.
Buddy, you didn't do your research. I can tell.
It doesn't break canon though. And man, they make this black woman so cartoonishly evil. On top of wanting to genocide the human race, she straight up says to the other executives of these companies that you can have some vaults and run whatever experiments you want in them. And that's how they explain all the crazy shit that goes down in the vaults. Holy fuck. You can't defend this scene. It's too stupid. It doesn't work on any level. It doesn't pass basic logic. Anyway, back to the present, we learn what Moldaver's grand plan was. The Enclave scientists stole the formula, code, whatever, you bitch, and the
Alright, he wasn't really saying anything like too more important. It was basically ending the show, bro. I can't even lie. I sat through a lot of it. We basically made this video be long as fuck.
Is there any point to having a real conclusion?
I hopefully gave you enough insight into why he's a bit of a freakazoid. This is an hour and 19 off this recording, and I've recorded some before. So, Synthetic Man, I'm doing you a service. I'm giving you a real deep dive review. I really deep dive review your shit. I skipped the last 5 minutes. You were getting a little crazy with the insults. You getting a little degenerate. But I had to leave. Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully you can get some help. Or you'll keep just playing the games in your mom's basement, because everyone says that's where you are now, in your mom's basement. I'm assuming that's where you actually are located. You've probably been doxxed, so they know. Just get help, man. Please get help. Not everything you see with interracial couples is propaganda. I know it might hurt your feelings. I think it's propaganda because you try to get with a black woman and she dubbed your ass because you probably stank from sitting in that gaming chair all day, and she needs someone who's clean, a man that's going to be clean and do her stuff. He could play the game and shit like that. He can still play the game, but he knows that his ass stank. He got to go take a shower. Thank you guys. See you in the next one.
Conclusion. I'm sure this video already dragged on way too long.
Bro, I was about to end it, but listen to this stupidity, dog.
Level. Some of the most diverse casting I have ever seen, and I believe there's 4 interracial couples in this show as well. Not to mention Lucy is arguably a Mary Sue, and there's plenty of women in positions of power. They made a black woman not only like the lead executive of Vault Tech, but also a genocidal maniac. So, were leftists the real racists all along? That's certainly worse than anything I would ever write. But really, the worst thing of all is that it just craps all over the original games.
Yeah, so in summary, it looks like Synthetic Man can't stand seeing black people or interracial couples really in his television shows. Really, he's gonna retcon it. If they're not pharaohs, if they're not ghouls, or they're white, it's a little too diverse for him. It needs to be all white. Please stop having like lore of like racism and bullying and shit like that. That doesn't really happen. Black people, if black people were in power, genocide, they would nuke. Nah, let's not have that, bro. And that's a little like I don't even think those people can comprehend that. Anyway, I'm out.